Been a fantastic start to this season for Celtic in their bid for yet another title, unbeaten in their first 6 matches, and right now we are absolutely thrilled to bring in one of the players, Alistair Johnston. Alistair, good morning.
Alistair.
Or I guess it's good afternoon there, but it's morning here. So thank you.
Good morning to you guys.
Thank you for
morning.
joining us. A great start to the season for this Celtic team. What are the vibes right now? How are y'all feeling?
No, we're feeling really good. Look, there's quite a bit of change this summer, as you guys probably know. But at the same time, whenever there's a bit of change, it's a good opportunity as well for a lot of people to step up and take in, some new leadership roles. And I think that, this group's really kind of found their feet now. We found our stride, and you can see it with the results as well. So it's an exciting time to be a Celtic player, of course. Right now, we got the Champions League coming up as well. We've just started our campaign in that. And obviously the league's now into full flow. So it's an exciting time. And yeah, the vibes are good. The vibes are really good.
So now this is Brendan Rodgers' second time around being Celtic manager, but your first time being around him. How has that been, being coached by him, especially following Ange Postecoglou, who is obviously getting all his flowers right now as coach of Tottenham?
Yeah, no, Brendan's been great. Coming in, I'd heard obviously a lot of things. His resume speaks for itself. Obviously, what he's won at Celtic, and you see some of the other clubs that he's been at and what he's done at, Liverpool, Swansea, Leicester, of course, as well. And it was someone that, as soon as his name was kind of linked with the job, I think a lot of us were really intrigued by that. And no, he's an unbelievably personable guy. And all the stories I'd heard about him from his previous stint here was exactly that. He really takes the time to go out of his way and learn some of the finer details about guys' personal lives, their footballing lives as well, which, is really important as well. And you can feel that kind of personal touch that he brings. So, no, I've really enjoyed my time so far with him. Of course, now when you're winning, everything feels even better. So it's been a really good start under Brendan. And of course, yeah, it's nice to see that Ange is getting all of his flowers down at Tottenham as well, because he deserves it. He's a top manager. And I've been lucky enough now with my time here so far. It hasn't been long at Celtic, but I've been lucky enough to work under two very, very top managers, which has been nice.
Now, I wanted to ask you about Ange, just because things are going so well for him at Tottenham. What was his role in bringing you to Celtic, and what was it like playing for him for a few months?
No, he was the one. He called me up, actually. It was right before the World Cup, and he said that I was a player that, fit the profile that he wanted, and not only just as a tactical kind of player, but not just the stuff on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. He thought that the kind of the personality and the stuff that he'd heard about me and what I kind of was as a person, as an individual, that it would fit kind of the, just the player pool that he was trying to create. That identity that he was trying to create of young, hungry players who are looking to succeed and take that next step. And again, tactically, he was just so clear with everything that he wanted to do. And I think that Spurs are seeing that right now as well. It's a system that, as a player, it's really enjoyable to be a part of, especially as a defender, because he gives you chances. He gives you, almost a longer leash with some things where generally as a defender, you're taught to, play safe, don't take any risks. He was one that said, no, take risks back there. I want to play a beautiful brand of football. And, every once in a while you're going to get burned, but at the same time it's going to work. And if we stick to it, we're going to overpower teams, and it's going to turn out really nice. And, we're going to win a lot of matches. We're going to score a lot of goals, and the fans are going to be super excited watching that kind of football. So I think Spurs are kind of getting that now. Of course, Spurs are a historical club that have historically been known to play that, attacking brand of football. So I think that that's something that, their fan base has been really excited to see. And, just hearing some of the quotes from the players coming out, I can just tell that it's something that was similar to what, our defenders were saying as well, playing in that system. So, no, I'm really happy for them. I think they're going to do really well this year in the Premier League. And yeah, I'm really curious to keep following them.
What a nice thing as a player to have a little bit of a longer leash, right? To be able to explore a little bit more. Alistair, you mentioned the expectations at Tottenham, but Celtic, probably one of the clubs within Europe where the expectations are high year after year. You come off winning a domestic treble last year. I want to know what that was like, the experience for you to be able to be a part of that. But what it is like playing for this team, game in and game out, knowing what the expectations are from you in that city, within the fan base.
And also dunking on Rangers. How does it feel to dunk on Rangers?
Look, I'll start with the first part. I came in January, and we already had a lead in the league. we were pretty far into all the cups already, so I honestly didn't play a huge part in it. I just kind of rode the coattails of the squad, this core group that kind of took us to the promised land there. But honestly, it was a great start. I was 6 months into my Celtic career, and I think I'd already done a treble. So I don't think it gets much better than that. But yeah, you're right about the expectations of winning. This is a club where winning is just it's just a part of the DNA of the club. And you'll know it. It's hilarious. If you get to the 40th minute and it's still 0-0 and you start passing the ball backwards, you're going to hear it from the crowd. Yeah. There's not many places in the world where you get that kind of pressure week in, week out to not only perform, but to win. And that's something I've enjoyed, and it's very different in the MLS in a way where, there's so much parity with the salary cap, and you never really know if a team's going to be first place or they're going to be finishing last and picking up the wooden spoon from year to year. Versus here, it's just such a demand and expectation. And again, with a city that has such a passionate fan base, you're going to hear about it if you're not living up to standards. And especially when you share the city with your biggest rivals. If you drop any points, you don't really want to show your face in the grocery store the next couple of days. So it's kind of funny how that works. And that was something that I needed to learn as well, where, you share a city with your rivals versus when I was, in Montreal, our closest rival would be Toronto, which is, a 6-hour drive. So it's a little bit different in that way. And I've really enjoyed that aspect of it too, but it's a learning process for sure.
Now, Alistair, a lot of headlines obviously around the Canadian men's national team. John Herdman departs to go and manage Toronto FC, who you just mentioned. Issues off the field with the federation and not playing any games in recent times. What's sort of your feeling on there being a managerial change and what's going on with the Canadian men's national team at the moment?
Yeah, look, there's been plenty of stuff going on behind the scenes. It's been frustrating, of course, for us as players, not just for our men's team, but for our women's team. And just that we're in a position right now where we have a chance to really kind of create the change that we feel like we need to see. We finally have, a lot of positive momentum behind the men's program, which has been there with the women's program for the past decade. And, both teams kind of felt this is our chance to, unite and really kind of strive and force Canada soccer to, adapt to the times and move forward and progress, because we don't want to be known as a hockey nation forever. We have such a great backbone of footballing tradition, soccer tradition in our country. And again, it's something that we want to keep seeing push forward. We're hosting a World Cup. We're co-hosting the World Cup in 2026. There's no reason why we shouldn't be at the forefront of that and pushing like America has been and, how Mexico has been for, a long, long time. So that's something that we saw it as. It's an opportunity that, we can't just do it just for ourselves, but we need to be looking at the future generations of players coming through that this isn't right. And there's a lot of, structural things that needed to change from the very top on down. And, we felt that this was an opportunity for us to do it. And of course, we knew that it wasn't going to be smooth sailing. We knew that there was going to be things going on in terms of, potentially not being able to play matches and different things like that. They're going to have to happen. And you know what? We've had to take that on the chin. It's been frustrating for all of us. It's been frustrating for the fans. We completely understand that. But at the same time in the long run, I think this is really going to benefit Canada soccer. And then in terms of John moving on, I completely understand. He's done an unbelievable job for this program. You can see where we were when he came in to where we are now. It's night and day. And there's no one else that, deserves that praise more than him. He's done it on both the women's side and the men's side in our Canada soccer program. So we're forever grateful for him. He's a great man. And I'm sure he'll do great things at Toronto. But yeah, no, we've got Mauro Biello, who's going to step in as the interim role for now. Again, we have plenty of trust and respect for Mauro. He's been a part of this staff since I've been here with the national team. So another just really good individual who understands the game at a really high level. So, we're going to go out there trying to put our best foot forward for him, and hopefully we can get him the job on a full-time basis because he's someone that we believe that can lead us again to that next step. So it's an exciting time again.
All right, Alistair, before we let you go, I've got to ask about Champions League, because Celtic is back in Champions League, and I just want to know for you what it was like taking the field. You hear that iconic anthem. What was that experience like, and what was going through your head?
The anthem, it's something that you dream of as a kid. Again, I can just remember rushing home from school every Tuesday and Wednesday in the fall, to get back for that 3 o'clock kickoff. So it's just crazy now to be out there and then to hear it. I know some guys have cried when they've heard it, but for me, it just put a huge smile on my face. Just another one off the bucket list. So it was amazing like that. The match didn't go exactly as I'd planned, double red card going into a a 4-4-0 formation is never something you want to do. We got the first red, and I said, all right, Gaffer, like, what's the plan? 4-3-2, and then we got the second one. I had to go back over there, and I was like, what's the formation? He said, yeah, we're going to go the 4-4. I said, oof, that's something you never want to hear.
It sounds like an NFL formation.
Yeah.
Exactly. I thought we were playing cover 3 or something. And I didn't know what was going on. So, yeah, it was an unbelievable experience. Of course, it didn't go exactly how we wanted, but I think at the end of the day, to get out of there, only conceding 2 when you're down 2 men, had an unbelievable stadium that was, great atmosphere. I think that could potentially help us in the long run. Again, it was a lot of our players' first ever time playing the Champions League, myself included. So hearing that anthem, it was a lot to take in. But this week we're lucky. We have Lazio at home, first time playing a home Champions League game at Celtic Park, and all I've
That'll
heard
be
is
something.
amazing.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So it'll be
I'm
a
jealous.
really special
Yeah.
experience.
Well, hopefully you never have to go to the 4-4-0 ever again. But you're in Scotland. How's the golf game?
The golf game, let's just say it's not as good as Europe's looking right now in the Ryder Cup. They're flying right now. Mine's definitely not flying.
Well, you got time to do that, right?
We're taking some lessons. We're getting there. There's tons of courses everywhere, so it's hard not to get into the golf fever over here. But it's got a long way to go before I'm a scratch golfer, I'll say that.
Well, Alistair, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us this
Thanks,
morning.
Alistair.
Best of luck
Thank
this
you.
weekend against Motherwell and next week against Lazio.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good one now.